Hey guys, so today I'm going to tell you the secret to cleaning composite floors, in this case in the back of a moving truck or a transport truck. And this is a composite floor. I've heard polyurethane composite, it could be polypropylene composite, it could be an epoxy composite, but it's mainly referred to as a composite floor. Now, what I'm going to show you is right here. This floor, all of this floor was mopped. All of it. This has been mopped, even though it looks that dirty. That has been mopped. Now the little specks you see down there are where my sponge has been coming apart that I'm using. But they work really good. So this is what I'm showing you. Here's the line. The right side is dirty, left side is clean. The only difference is the right side hasn't had the secret done yet. All of this trailer, the entire trailer, was swept and then mopped with just a regular towel, wet towel, an actual mop, sponge mop, whatever you want to use, with a little bit of degreaser in it, and you can add some Dawn if you want. It's all been mopped, and then I go back over it because this is the clean right here you're looking at. This clean right here, this is what you get after you mop it. And compared to what it was before, you're like, oh, that's clean. I mopped my trailer, I mopped my truck, however you want to refer to it, and it's clean, but it's not. You then take your degreaser and your water with maybe a little soap if you want, and you get an eraser pad, a disposable eraser pad or disposable eraser sponge. And you're going to use that with your degreaser water, and you're going to go over, and I put the eraser under one foot and a wet towel under the other, and you scrub with one foot and wipe it down with the other. And you can see the line right there. Even though that's shadow, this is clean and you can see some splotches, but then you can definitely see the line right there. It's dirty, but that's been mopped. I promise you it's been mopped with lots of elbow grease and plenty of pressure. But those marks do not come off with just soap and water or degreaser and water or even CLR. I've heard people say, oh, use CLR. CLR with just a mop, or even if it's a sponge mop by itself, will not get all the marks off. You can see where a forklift is driven up in here and left tire marks. You can see some scrapings. Now the light colors here on the floor, that is where a pallet and or the forks of the forklift drag the floor, and that's actually taking the top layer, the top micrometer off, and the scratch is pretty much permanent unless I paint it, which I'm not going to do. But you end up with this after having that, and you can see the difference. This is clean. There's a splotch right there, and that's not clean, not yet. So this is your before, and this is your after. Now, if you're real obsessive compulsive, you're not going to let the splotches stand. And all I can tell you about those eraser pads is, if you're using them right, they start out about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick, and when you're done, you're down to a sheet of paper if it's not completely gone. There's an actual piece of mine right there. That's a piece of the eraser pad that came off. I'll tell you another secret to keeping the pads lasting longer is wet what you're going to use it on. Wet the eraser pad itself, but then have a wet cloth, a wet towel, and only wring it out about 1/4 of the way. Wipe down your surface, get your surface good and wet, and then use the eraser. So let me get, I know it's hard to see right there, because of the shadowing. The sun's going down. Wet, my pad is wet. So this is how we're gonna do it. There's my towel, which in this case is an old t-shirt. A towel may actually hold moisture longer because it's terry cloth. Okay, look, I'm gonna scrub this. This has got degreaser in it. This came out of the water. And you can still see, I don't know if you can see it with it being wet, the edge of the dirt. There it is. See the dips? That's clean over there, dirty there. So, there's my eraser pad right there. Most stores have their own brand of these. There is a major retailer that makes these. Okay, this is where you just saw those dips. Okay. I'll show you something. See those marks right there? That's a mark right there. Now that one may or may not come out because I think it's gouged into the floor. That's coming up. There you go. It's gone. And then you take your wet, in my case t-shirt, you wipe it down. See, you can see right there, there's a spot right there I missed. And that, stuff like that is just gonna come right off. See, there's the after, look at that. So now, let me wipe this down. I'll move back if I can get it dry enough for you to see it. All right, move that. All right, remember? We had a line, I'm gonna back you out. We have a line right there. See, there's the edge of the dirt. Clean right there, dirty right there. Come across, and now I don't know if you can see because I got footprints in it now. But you can see the edge of it right there. Goes up, right there. All that right there is clean. That's what I just did with the eraser pad. What I started to say a while ago, most stores have their own brand of eraser pads. I just went into a local grocery store, not the big giant one, but it is a fairly big chain. The big giant one has eraser pads of their own making, branded to their name. And I just went into another major supermarket and they had them. So they're pretty easy to find. At the big major one, they're on the same aisle as the mops and brooms and all that. But those are only 4-packs with all the other sponges, where all the sponges are. But if you go down to where the Swiffer refills are, there are bigger packs of 7 if you get the heavy duty or extra duty ones. And I think they go up to 8 or 10 if you get just the regular ones. And they even have a multi-pack that has like 3 or 4 of the different types, because they got one for kitchen, one for regular use, they got a heavy duty one. I think they've got a separate one for bathroom, but they're good on any surface, just about. Tennis shoes, walls, floors. It says don't use them on people. So note to self, don't use it on people. But that's about it. I'll get you a shot when it's done. Okay guys, so here's the after. I'm completely done. And I had this much eraser left the first time, and I got about half of it done. That's including up there where the pallet jack and behind the bars up there. And I did the second half and I still had this much. This one can be used again for probably about a quarter of this. This one can be used on some small spots. You'll go through them fast, but they're worth the money. And that's how you clean a composite floor. in an Expedite truck or a moving truck or whatever type of truck you have with a composite floor. And there you go. You guys have a great day. Floor's all clean.